Hi, my name is Konstantin, CEO and founder of Karma Media. And in today's training, I want to walk you through a process of how to read your advertising data within your Facebook ads dashboard. But more importantly, how to make decisions throughout this process, right? What are you going to do when your return on ad spend drops? What are you doing when your cost per acquisition drops? Or how to scale up an ad account and what to do when a campaign falls off a cliff, right? All those moments and situations that happen when you're running campaigns at a day-to-day basis, we're going to discuss and break them down through two very exciting study cases that I want to share with you. So the very first one that we're going to walk through is the e-commerce brand subscription box that we scaled from £22,000 all the way up to £50,000 in 1 month. And at the same time, lowering the cost per acquisition and increasing the return on ad spend and conversion rates, right? So that's a picture perfect situation where everything is just going well and the campaign is just going upwards, all the performance is going up. And throughout this process, I'll share with you which decisions we've made, what we exactly done to get us to those desired results, right? The second scenario, the second study case is completely different. We've been working together with this client for over a year now, generating thousands of appointments at roughly $200 a booked call, basically, right? And this last month, what happened was the cost per booked appointment went from $200 all the way up to $800 per appointment, which is just ridiculous, right? And I want to share with you what it took us to improve that performance. And we're right as we speak, we're getting this account back on track. And it's just a situation, a very unfortunate situation that happened. And I really wanted to share with you this one because, to be frank, not many advertising agency owners or so-called experts are willing to share this information as well, right? Like what happens when a campaign falls off a cliff? What happens when the tough time hits, right? That's a very common thing. And I haven't frankly seen a lot of YouTube videos around those type of situations. So let's dive into the study cases together and I'll pop up the ad accounts for you so we can have a very transparent walkthrough and I'll give you some proper examples of every single situation. So let's dive into the very first study case where an e-commerce brand campaign, a subscription box, went from spending £22,000, that's when we onboarded the client, to the very next month spending £50,000 in ad spend. So we scaled this campaign like crazy. And you can see at the same time, the purchases, they went from £9.59 at £23.61 to the very next month, doubling the volume of purchases at a lower cost per acquisition, £22.70. And look actually what happened this month here in November. Have a look at the conversion rate that I'm about to show. So already £33,000 in ad spend. We're probably going to hit 60, maybe 70K. Crazy amount of purchases at even a lower, almost like 40% lower cost per acquisition. And that's the whole purpose of this campaign, to have this subscription box gaining so much traction at a lower cost per acquisition and even at a higher conversion rate as well. You can see the conversion rate doubling here from 1 month to another. And I want to share with you which steps we took to take this campaign to where it is right now. Month one, when we onboarded the client in September, you've seen it yourself, we've had barely any ad spend in there. So scaling it to £50,000, you can see the increase in purchases, conversion rate stayed the same. And that's just, this increase is just by introducing the past winners and at the same time writing new copy, writing new headlines and sending the subscription box to to create new user-generated content, to basically sending it to different influencers to get the package back and have new fresh creatives. So those two steps alone resulted in us being able to scale and kind of maintain the cost per acquisition, even lowering it a little bit by just kind of like forcing the new creatives and past winners within the ad account and restructuring the ad account. But then in November, you can see a huge increase in conversion rates right here. So this becomes conversion rate optimization. Conversion rate optimization generally for e-commerce brands becomes more and more important because the traffic, cost per advertising, just traffic in general just becomes more and more expensive. Rising ad costs, fulfillment costs are rising, everything is becoming more and more expensive. And it just becomes a kind of like a question like, how effective is your advertising dollar? And the higher your conversion rate is, it means that if you're competing directly with another competitor, you can simply spend the most amount, you can spend the most amount of ad spend, generate same amount of volume of traffic to the website. But if your website converts higher and your competitor converts here, you can just outcompete them by having a bigger conversion rate, and that naturally translates in lower cost per acquisition and better profit margins for you on the back end. So the way to achieve this is by focusing on optimizing your conversion rate through your website. Right, so the scaling part happens within the ad account, but optimizing for your conversion rates happens on your website. And the best way we found to achieve this is very simple, is by simply cleaning up the website. We see so many websites and landing pages have all sorts of widgets, like just appearing quite messy. By clearing up all the apps, removing everything that you've got here, except for the one offer that you have and the product that you're selling, you're able to skyrocket the conversion rate just by simply removing everything. And that's exactly what we've done here. And the client, is obviously very happy now because of the cost per acquisition that we're able to deliver. So I hope those steps were clear. Basically, what you always want to try is to leverage past winners, past creatives, past winning components and recipes of the ad account. You also always want to introduce new creatives as an e-commerce brand, send it to different influencers, try new copy, new creatives, new offers at the same time while scaling the ad account up. And also you want to improve your conversion rates on your landing pages by just making things more simplified. So that is example number one. Example number two is a lead generation campaign. We've had the client for over a year now, and we've been able to really crush it and deliver very low cost per acquisition, beside having good cost per lead and cost per appointment. Also on the back end, the leads and appointments that we generated for the client converted in many sales. But this month, a very unfortunate thing happened is the account performance just completely fell off a cliff. And the cost per appointment that we usually have as a KPI around $200, it basically went from $200, it went to $800 per appointment. Right? So what are you going to do in this situation? I want to jump back into the Google Sheets and break down a few scenarios that happened in the actual ad account. And I want to give you very clean data, just operating with $10,000 per month in ad spend and having all the data in a very clean way so that you'll understand how to make those decisions in case this happens for yourself or your clients. So here is a lead generation example where in month one, we're spending $10,000 per month in ad spend. We're spending $10,000 per month in ad spend, generating 1,000 leads at a conversion rate of 50%, generating leads at $10 per lead, and generating 50 scheduled appointments at $200 per scheduled appointments, right? So this data is hypothetical, but it's very close to what we're currently spending with the client, and the results are very, very similar, except for that it's just removed all the broken numbers, and you'll be able to understand the decision making behind improving the campaign. So 50 appointments a month at $200 an appointment. If we look at the preliminary metrics, 2,000 visitors to the landing page at $5 per click, and click-through rates at 3%, with a cost per 1,000 impressions at $30 per 1,000 impressions. So this performance has been the benchmark for almost a year for us. And let's check out in month 2, in the second example, what happens when the performance breaks, how to analyze it, and which decisions to make in order to improve this. So the second month, we think everything is going well. We're going to get the same performance, same cost per lead, etc. But that's not the case. So in month 2, we've got half the volume of leads. So that is strange to begin with. Why is that? We can see the conversion rate went to 25% from 50. The leads went from $10 to $20 per lead. Appointments halved as well. Instead of 50, we're now generating 25 appointments in a month. Conversion rates here is the same from lead to appointment. Cost per appointment went to $400, and we can see the traffic stayed the same. So 2,000 visitors to the landing page at now $10 per click, with a click-through rate of 3%, and a cost per 1,000 impressions of $60 per 1,000 eyeballs. So what to do in this situation? What to do when your cost per lead conversion rate goes half, cost per lead doubles, and you can see that your cost per traffic goes up as well. What to do in this situation, right? So the very first thing you always want to see is, how are your preliminary metrics? What are your cost per clicks looking like? What is your click-through rate looking like? How much are you paying for the traffic? So if we look at the preliminary metrics to begin with, we can see that the cost per click went from $5 to $10, which is a huge increase. So that's the very first red flag that you should see in the ad account. It's like, wow, my traffic just doubled in cost. What can I do to improve this? Right? And you can see the cost per 1,000 impressions basically doubled. So that basically means that Facebook is serving you very expensive traffic. And that's the whole reason for leads costing twice, for leads and appointments costing the double amount. So if we solve the preliminary metrics, we will get the cost per 1,000 impressions that we used to have at $30, and the cost per clicks at $5 per click, and naturally the cost per lead and cost per appointment will naturally solve by itself. The question is, how can you improve the preliminary metrics? Very good question. So the thing that you always want to begin with is writing new headlines and writing new ad copy, trying to figure out new hooks and angles for your offers, because it does happen when you run campaigns for a year, for 2 years, for 5 years. I mean, naturally the performance of the same creative is just going to naturally fatigue, and at some stages some winning creatives that you had from the past just completely die off. It is an unfortunate natural behavior that happens not only in ad accounts but entropy, like in all life. If you leave something for a little bit, it's just the chaos around it is just gonna it's just going to change the situation that you're in. So you always want to be one step ahead, and on a monthly, weekly basis, inject the accounts with new headlines, new advertising copy, new creatives to stay ahead of the curve and keep the cost per 1,000 impressions low. Because if that is low, that means that Facebook loves the creatives that you're serving to their audience, and it's just going to keep rewarding you with low metrics. So that's scenario number one. Example two is very similar in the sense that the preliminary metrics are off. So if we compare it with the very first month where we started and we're out of the sudden getting this result, so we're still spending 10K, but now our cost per lead went up to $20 from 10. Cost per appointment went from 50 to 25. Cost per appointment schedule went from 200 to 400. So same scenario, but now we can trace back the cost per 1,000 impressions has been the same, except for the click-through rate, right? So click-through rate is another very important preliminary metric to understand. It is the better your ads and the better your copy and resonance with the audience, the higher, the more people are going to click through. So the higher your click-through rate, the cheaper your cost per click is going to be, and the more traffic you're going to drive to the website. So in the same scenario, we see a drop in click-through rates, meaning that the resonance is just gone. For whatever reason, people are no longer resonating with your ads. And here again, the same thing, introduce new headlines, new body copies, new creatives, and that would rejuvenate the performance and you would get the same results. Example number three, and that's kind of like what happened in our situation as well. So we can see the same thing, leads went from 1,000 to 500, doubling in price. Same thing for the appointments, went from 50 to 25, and the cost per schedule went from 200 to 400 bucks. So we look at the preliminary metrics and they're the same. So same amount of traffic, same cost per traffic, same click-through rate, same cost per 1,000 impressions. So what are you going to, the first thing you look at the preliminary metrics, are they the same? If those are the same, that means the ads are still working. Everything is fine on the front end. That means then for whatever reason, the traffic that you're sending to your landing pages and your website, they're just no longer converting. So now it's a question of how relevant is your offer? Can you spice up your offer? Can you spice up something you're saying on the website? Maybe you add some bonuses, add some excitement to the offer, and that could help you get the best performance. Because at some stage when you run the same campaign for a year or so and same offers, those offers can fatigue. Not the ads in this case, the offers will fatigue. So that has been the situation in our case, and we've just spiced up the landing page copy, introduced new offers, and we're gonna be able to fix the performance this way. I hope you've enjoyed both examples, where in the first one we're basically sharing with you everything is going well. We've been able to achieve a higher ROAS, lower cost per acquisition for the client, and at the same time scaling the campaign up like crazy, and everything is just going well. And I hope you found it valuable to kind of be able to pick my brain and see which action step you would take in order to get that performance. And the second example where things just completely fall off a cliff, and we've been able to get $200 cost per call for a client, and out of the sudden it's just jumping to $800 per call. And the decision making behind those ones as well, how to analyze the data, how to see which preliminary metrics are we looking at, what are the cost per clicks, what are the click-through rates, what is the cost per 1,000 impressions, what are we paying to serve the ads in the first place. Then you look at the conversion rates on the actual landing pages. What are those converting at? Maybe the offer has fatigued. Maybe we can spice something up. You get what I'm saying? And those are the kind of like the core things that you always try to mix up: the offers, new copy, new creatives, constantly mixing things up and trying to stay ahead of the curve. If you're a business owner yourself, interested to scaling your brand with paid ads, Google, Facebook ads, for the next 5 business owners, we're offering a complimentary ad account audit plus a one-on-one business implementation session, which is usually valued at $1,500. We used to charge this for this whole package. We're giving this away for free for the next 5 business owners, right? So if you're interested, if you want to scale up, if you want to invest in paid ads, build landing pages, grab this complimentary session down with the link below. Just hop on a chat, see if we potentially can help and advise you what we would do if we were in your situation. Thank you so much for staying all the way till the end. I really enjoyed doing this training. If you're interested in more, please subscribe, and we're looking to see you in the next one.